SpaceX's next astronaut launch for NASA has been delayed until at least Saturday, November 6, by a minor medical issue affecting a crew member, agency officials said. The agency said the delay is not related to COVID-19 and it is not a medical emergency, but no other details were provided. It's not known which of the Crew 3 astronauts, Commander Raja Chari, pilot Thomas Marshburn, Kayla Barron and European Space Agency astronaut Matthias Maurer, might be affected. The mission, known as Crew 3, had been scheduled to lift off early Wednesday morning, November 3, from NASA's Kennedy Space Center, KSC, in Florida. The earliest it could now launch is 11:36 p.m. EDT on Saturday evening, November 6, 0336 GMT on November 7. Crew 3 will send NASA astronauts Raja Chari, Kayla Barron, and Thomas Marshburn, and the European Space Agency's, ESA, Matthias Maurer, to the International Space Station for a 6-month stay. The quartet will ride to the orbiting lab in a SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule, which will launch atop a Falcon 9 rocket. The Crew 3 astronauts remain in quarantine at KSC, agency officials said. This is part of normal pre-launch routine. The Crew Dragon and Falcon 9 are in good shape and will remain at Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy, NASA officials wrote in the update. As its name implies, Crew 3 is the third operational mission SpaceX will fly to the station for NASA. The second, Crew 2, launched to the orbiting lab in April and is scheduled to return to Earth soon. Teams will continue to monitor crew health as they evaluate potential launch opportunities at the end of the week, the NASA statement said. The earliest possible opportunity for launch is 11:36 p.m. EDT Saturday, November 6. Unlike the Russian Space Agency, NASA does not select and train backup crews, so all 4 Crew 3 astronauts must be deemed fit before the flight can proceed. The delay is the first for a piloted NASA mission due to a medical issue since Space Shuttle Flight STS-36 in 1990 when Commander John Creighton fell ill before launch. The Crew 3 astronauts originally were scheduled for takeoff October 31, but launch was delayed to early Wednesday because of stormy weather in the Atlantic Ocean along the trajectory to orbit where the crew might be forced to make an emergency splashdown during an abort. Given the nature of the lab's orbit, the next opportunity to launch comes at 1:10 a.m. Wednesday, but NASA ruled that out with Monday's announcement. The agency takes every effort to protect the crew prior to its launch through a health stabilization plan, NASA said in its blog post. Crew 3 astronauts will remain in quarantine at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida while preparing for their launch. The delay may have an impact on plans to bring 4 other space station astronauts back to Earth. Launched aboard a Crew Dragon last April, the Crew 2 astronauts were planning on a direct handover with Chari, Marshburn, Barron, and Maurer, helping their replacements get up to speed on station operations before heading back to Earth to close out a 6-month stay in orbit. But depending on how long the Crew 3 mission actually is delayed, the Crew 2 astronauts, Commander Shane Kimbrough, pilot Megan MacArthur, ESA astronaut Thomas Pesquet and Japanese flyer Akihiko Hoshide, may be ordered home before their replacements get there. That would temporarily leave the station in the hands of a reduced 3-man crew, Soyuz MS-19/65S Commander Anton Shkaplerov, cosmonaut Pyotr Dubrov and NASA astronaut Mark von der Hey. Shkaplerov was launched to the lab on October 5 while Dubrov and von der Hey were launched in April and plan to spend nearly a full year in orbit before returning to Earth at the end of March. Crew 3 was originally supposed to launch early Sunday morning, October 31. NASA and SpaceX stood down from that attempt because of anticipated bad weather, however, pushing the liftoff to Wednesday at the earliest. Despite their best efforts, engineers at SpaceX won't be able to fix the leaky toilet on board the company's Crew Dragon spacecraft in time for the NASA astronauts set to launch on it imminently. Their solution for this week's Crew 3 launch headed to the International Space Station, astronauts will have to resort to peeing their spacesuits, which essentially amount to diapers. NASA's Commercial Crew Program Manager Steve Stick told reporters on Friday that astronauts will have to rely on their undergarments, CNN reports, a throwback to how astronauts used to have to do their business in the Apollo days, and still do during prolonged spacewalks. The admission serves as yet another reminder that even after decades of spaceflight, space toilets remain an extraordinary engineering challenge.